Welcome to Recruiting Intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Coach Dub. That's Justin Wells. It's our weekly look at recruiting every Tuesday, always going on, never stops. So make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We never stop talking about recruiting. And we also never stop talking about recruiting over at InsideTexas.com. So go over there. It's that first link in our description, or if you're watching on your computer or on your TV, go ahead and scan that QR code right in front of Arch's face. Go sign up, join the best Texas Longhorns community, get the best Texas Longhorns intel, sign up for just $1. Looking forward to seeing everybody over there as we talk a little bit about Mississippi State, but also some recruiting still going on as when you have to, when you have some five-star guys committed, just like Derek Cooper, you have to make sure you keep those guys in the fold. You can never stop recruiting players like Derek Cooper. It's not like Texas has stopped, but other schools continue to come at him. And Justin, there's a little bit of, I'll let you take it away. There's just some things to know about Derek Cooper's recruitment right now that should still make Texas fans feel all right.
Right. Like, to tell you the truth, this update is what we'd call a non-update. We're just keeping you in the loop. There's not anything. There's no flashing lights, warning signs, panic buttons that a lot of fans seem to be buzzing on here lately. No, listen, Derek Cooper in Miami, we're always going to continue to talk. That's the school that's been in that recruitment for the longest. He's built the best relationship. They're having a great season. I mean, even though they lost on Friday night, that team's probably going to the playoffs. That's going to be a good team moving forward. But he's still locked into Texas. He's still expected in Texas in 2 weeks for the Vanderbilt game. He still stays in touch with Chad Scott and him and his family on a biweekly basis. But this was the first time that Derek Cooper went to Miami for a visit and Miami lost. And that was on a Friday night. And I wanted to ask Derek what he's doing at a college football game on a Friday night in Florida, because that's sacrilegious, just like in Texas. We do high school football on Friday nights. We save Saturdays for college, and Sunday, that's the Lord's Day for the NFL. Cooper and Texas are in a great spot. This is the only back they are taking. Doesn't matter what you hear or read. They are not recruiting any other running backs in 2026. They're no longer engaging. They're not talking to Javian Osborne. They are not talking to KJ Edwards. They are not talking to Amir Latimer. They're not talking to any of those guys. They have got their guy locked in. And somebody asked me on the board, I believe, about Carson Baker at Florida. Texas has their guy. They want one running back in this cycle. And look, Derek Cooper loves that. All these other schools have something in common that are still pushing for him. They have other tailbacks committed in the class. Derek loves being the one guy in this cycle, and the NIL package from Texas is still clearly better than what the other schools have done. Just continue to watch him a few more months before National Signing Day. He'll be an early enrollee. You're looking at a kid on video right now that's probably going to be in the rotation on Saturdays next year in Austin. So just be prepared, enjoy it, and hold on loosely for about 2 more months.
This is one of those things, Charlie, where I'm trying to see where the kind of the finalists were for Derek Cooper. And I know it was basically everybody, but it was also all the different Florida schools. And as we can tell, Miami was keeping things going until Louisville showed up. But Florida State's in turmoil. Florida's already fired their coach. A lot of the big competitors for Cooper are kind of falling by the wayside and getting rid of their offensive their head coaches even.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hurt their chances. There's only one school, and again, like Justin just said, they have their running back, and that's Ohio State, where a couple of Madonna Prep kids go, and Jeremiah Smith and others. So the fact that they're not in the mix because they have, I think, 2 running backs committed, everybody else is kind of falling by the wayside. So it sets up perfectly for Texas.
Didn't Jeremiah Smith's brother just commit to Ohio State?
He did.
And Justin, another thing.
Imagine he got a brother.
Justin, you also mentioned Latimer. I think Latimer's starting to get predictions for Ohio State too, and so
yes, listen, that's the big back in this class. Every class has that one like big boy that can run between the tackles. That's Amari Latimer. And listen, that they had kind of disengaged back in late spring, early summer. But he was just another name that had been mentioned to me of the running backs that Texas had been on. If there's one guy I would kick the tires on, it'd be like a Tredarian Ball at Texas High, who's committed to Oregon. But he's locked into Oregon, just like Cooper is locked into Texas.
Yeah, and you had even mentioned a couple things with Baker. There were parts of his eval that they weren't super big on, especially as it pertained, I think, to catching
the ball. Catching the ball, it's a problem.
Pretty required to play running back. And then,
in this offense.
When you've had a Jaden Blue and a Bijan Robinson look like wide receivers at tailback, you have a standard.
And then the other aspect is, and you can't deny it, Texas is putting a better offer on the table in front of them, and that definitely counts for something.
Always.
It always does. It always does. Look, you know what Miami's major sales pitch is, Joe? Look how much money we're spending on the offensive line.
True.
That's their sales pitch. I mean, that's part of it. Every school's got one. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that's part of it. Look how much they're investing is essentially what they're saying. If I'm a running back, that's something I'm listening to. That's something I'm paying attention to.
True.
I'm probably paying a little bit more attention to it today than I was 6 weeks ago in Austin. But I know Sark and those guys will get that fixed.
Going to be fun to watch how all that plays out. And, all these different schools and coaches, as we have Derek Cooper's junior film on, it's like the time frame on all this is going to be very tough, especially for a Florida who, we'll see if they make a bowl, especially for Florida State, if they find the money in the couch cushions in Tallahassee. Like, National Signing Day is going to sneak up on a lot of these schools to where no matter what's going on, okay, yeah, if you want to, negotiate with the collective directly, go ahead, but you still probably want to know who the coach you're playing for is and what schemes you're running. Like, money matters. We're not going to say it doesn't, but
right.
you're paid because you play football, and if you want to play football, you got to go to the right system, and that's really important as we go through the rest of the 2026 campaign. Before we keep going with the rest of this video, got to show some love to Game Time. And, you can do all the different testimonials and stuff like that. I've got one. Bringing the family to Mississippi State this week. Wife and our friends got tickets through Game Time. Best place to get tickets. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets in just a few taps. You can get great deals. You can get Texas tickets on the 50-yard line. You're in the Mississippi State section, but you can get Texas tickets for great prices and even better prices than you can get going through the school. You know how much you're paying. All the fees are included. You know what your seats will look like because they give you a panoramic view in your seat, and they have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So it's college football season. NBA starts tonight. Our guy KD gets his Rockets career going. You want to go to basketball, college basketball, hockey, NFL, I guess racing. World Series. If you got a passport, want to go check out the Rogers Center, Game Time is the app for you. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets or any tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, go to gametime.co or use the Game Time app. Use code ON3, ON3 for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Guys, we got a couple of new offers that we need to talk about. Texas is still searching for prospects in the 2026 class, and we got to go to the Rocky Mountain State. I think that's what it is. I should know that.
No, you're right. You're right.
Rocky
That's why they call it the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, there we go. Got to go all the way to Boulder at Fairview High School. Texas just offered Torrey Davis. And as Texas searches to add to a class where, there's some position flex and guys in flux with where they'll end up to start their college career, Texas is now looking at Torrey Davis, Justin, in that secondary.
We have mentioned a handful of times, people don't ask about safety that much. I think Texas is in a really good spot depth-wise in the program, safety-wise. But they have to bring another safety in this class. It's common for everyone to ask about offensive linemen, and we get it. We get it. But there's other positions they got to fill in this class. In safety, they got to take another one. I don't know if Yaheem Riley's going to be a safety. I don't know if he's going to play nickel. I don't even know if he's going to play corner. We don't know what his designation is going to be. They need a typical safety. This is one right here. And, he just committed from UCLA recently. He's actually got an official visit set up for Wisconsin. He's looking at getting some stuff set up for Texas. He had a previous relationship with Mark Orfe, the corner coach at Texas right now. I've only had a chance to watch a little bit of him. He's got some of that, tracking ability. He's back there tracking. And so I really like that from this kid. But, yeah, this cycle they need another safety. I want to pick Coach Williams' brain on this a little bit to kind of see what he sees. They need another safety in this class. I could see them only taking Riley and a one, typical guy at safety this cycle. But this just feels like, they've got about 4 or 5 holes left in the class. This feels like one of them.
Yeah, definitely watch this film. Like, he fits the mold of what they've been recruiting. If you go look at Zelisix and the rest of them, like these big, long, rangy safeties. He's physical. He plays the ball well. Like, he attacks the ball. He can catch it. So, I don't know. I mean, I think he's a good player in a room where he can kind of go and develop because there's so many bodies in there. He's not dependent on the play right away, and that's okay. I think he's a guy who can come in. He can develop. He's probably playing year 2, maybe 3, and absolute baller, but he's not afraid of contact whatsoever. But his best skill is really playing center field and going to track and go get the football. Man, he reads and diagnoses route concepts very well. Reads the quarterback. I mean, when he comes downhill, he's coming with the mission. So, I mean, I like him as a player.
It looks like he's got the right measurables, just over 6 feet, just around 185 pounds. And looking at some of the details about him, Justin, you'll love this, plays basketball. So he's got some work on the hard court as well. Has done it all for Fairview High School, offense and defense. A lot of this is obviously his defensive highlights. He's got a little bit of pedigree. His dad played DB at Colorado from 94 to 96. We know how good those Colorado teams were. I think those were the good years.
Early 90s Colorado was good. They had one Heisman winner and almost another, and then I think they played for a national championship.
Yeah. So Davis is, in the 3-star range, top 5 player in Colorado, but someone now that Texas is looking at to try to add to their 2026 class.
With his dad being a Colorado alum, you have to wonder why there isn't more of a connection there. And not to speculate wildly, but I do think there are some alum that really like what Deion Sanders has done for the Colorado program, and I think there's a segment of them that don't. And so it would be interesting for us. We're going to do a little research to kind of see why Colorado isn't more of a factor in that recruitment, because I hear more and more of those stories kind of trickle out a little bit from Boulder.
I was about to say, if he was coming from the portal, they'd probably jump all over him, though.
The other thing is, independent of everything, about Deion Sanders, like, I think there are health concerns with him to where who knows how long he's going to keep doing it.
Yeah, there's questions if he's even coming back next year.
Right. So, he was committed. Where was he previously?
UCLA.
Committed?
And here's the crazy thing about UCLA. You think, well, they fired Deshaun Foster. He's looking, he just wants to reestablish his recruitment. They've been landing commitments in the last few days, Joe. That team loses a head coach, and they're about to be ranked. Like, they have turned. You talk about a team that's turned it around. And I was just thinking to myself, watching those clips, I wonder if Torrey thought, man, if I just pump the brakes for a minute, this might be a pretty good situation here in Inglewood. But no, yeah, UCLA is, believe it or not, with an interim coach, they are landing commitments right now, and they're also playing really good football. Tip your cap to young Newhastle. I saw that picture of when they picked him up after the first win, and they compared it to the picture. Joe, you remember that?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Stadium. I was on the sideline when Duke Thomas got double moved. And boom, touchdown! And little Newhastle got put up on the shoulders, and so I was a little surprised with that because UCLA has actually turned some stuff around here. But I get it. Wants a new relationship with a new coach, new recruitment.
Tim Skipper's a ball coach. A lot of times he's got to be the interim ball coach, and he's really good at that. And he's good at being the head ball coach too.
Don't be surprised if his name pops up in some of these coaching carousel, some of the stuff on this backside.
Before we keep on going, got to show some love to our other sponsor, that is Rhoback. There's only one way to describe Rhoback: best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Rhoback, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Rhoback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs and clean hoodie and Q-zip designs from some of your favorite schools like Texas, it's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Rhoback's everyday shorts or their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. Both are super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that's made to have the appearance of a nice short look, but the comfort for a day on the move. Rhoback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars like Quinn Ewers. They are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. Use the code TEXAS20 on Rhoback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com and 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with Texas20. All right, we got to talk UCLA recruiting again just a little bit. We got to go to the state of Florida, which, golly, that's a long flight. Micah Smith from Vero Beach. It says committed on the screen. He has decommitted from Florida. 6'5.5", 325 pounds, ranked, in the top 300, was a quality member of that UCLA recruiting class. In Texas, Justin has now started to get their name involved with Micah Smith, but it may be a little bit of an uphill battle for him.
Yeah, so, sometimes when we see kids decommit, it's coaching change, it's change of scenery kind of stuff. Sometimes it's because you're getting flipped by a better program. And this is Ohio State, inserting themselves in this recruitment. This is one of those late senior evals. I'm not sure if he's a tackle or guard. He's listed as an interior lineman. He's got the size. If you watch his tape, I think he's got the size to do a little bit of both. And so definitely Texas, he would be on their radar. The thing about Micah Smith is that another UCLA, which I find is funny. Oh, here we go. Are we still there? Here we go. Yeah. Another thing that I find is funny is that he's also a UCLA decommit. Texas needs offensive linemen. We mentioned it earlier. We get it on the board every day. We see it on Twitter 4,000 times a day. They need a couple more linemen in this class, and it's getting closer and closer to signing day. And granted, we'll start to see some guys factor in more and more. We just don't know when that's going to happen. Usually with Sark, mid-November, late November, early December, you start to kind of see some changes. Here's a guy that they're going to try to get on campus in late November for the Texas A&M game. They want to shoot their shot with him. Like I said, you say he's a top 300 kid. Rivals, if you look at the rankings, Rivals isn't that fond of him, but the recruiting industry is. Let's just put it this way: if Ohio State is pushing for you, you're probably pretty good. Kyle Flood's on that too.
Charlie, this is an interesting case where it's kind of all word of mouth. He doesn't really have a good huddle. You can see these YouTube videos kind of lead to dead links. But you talked to some people in Florida about what he brings and what type of player he is. What did you hear back on that?
Yeah, he actually competed. Felix Ojo wasn't the only tackle or offensive line playing 707 OT7. This kid was too. So he's a big physical kid who can move. Look, he's a no-nonsense kid. He'll drive you out of bounds to the Gatorade cooler, stand over you. He doesn't mind getting the flag. Like, he has the kind of nastiness and attitude to him. And so I got just kind of watching his tape on YouTube as well, man. He's a physical interior offensive lineman. He plays tackle and guard, but I want to say at the Under Armour game, he played a lot of interior. I think that's where he projects at the next level. But this is a guy you want to get behind. He can pull, get out in front, get out there in screens and be athletic versus smaller guys and make a block. And then he's going to pick up guys and drop them off the ball. So you can run gap, you can run zone behind this kid. I mean, I like his tape a ton, man. He can really get after it.
We'll get out of here with two quick questions from a Tennessee Longhorn. Appreciate you. Does Texas not playing many freshmen on offense ever hurt in recruiting under Sark? Okay. I mean, I get this, and I'm guessing that this is framed in the with wide receiver in mind. My vantage point of it is like, okay, you can steal a few snaps for one guy at one time and then maybe switch out another one. Like, how often do you not want DeAndre Moore on the field or Ryan Wingo or Parker Livingston? And even so, or Emmett Mosley. Well, Dalen McCutcheon has earned playing time. it's kind of by necessity. Now you got Nick Brooks out there playing, but you've got Nick Brooks playing. Last year you had, Ryan Wingo playing a lot of meaningful snaps, and you value experience and you do value skill, and you want to have, you want the Dallas Wilsons, you want the Jeremiah Smiths, but they're, I don't know what this is always a big chicken or the egg thing for me, because it's like which players do you take off the field right now and have faith, Charlie, that the freshmen are going to do just as good, as not better? Oh, mute button.
I think people kind of look over the fence and look at this, say, hey, the grass is greener on other places, and they see all the other young, players playing for other teams. Like, why can't Texas do that? And look, the system Sark has in place, it's a light rotation at the receiver, if that's what we're referencing to. Not many guys play. It doesn't matter. He's going to play the older guy. He preferred playing to older guys. That's what it is. If you're a truly talented freshman, Xavier Worthy, Ryan Wingo, you're going to find a way on the field. Like, you look at somebody like Jermaine Bishop, who coming in next year, he's going to find a way onto the field because he's too talented to keep off the field. But I think it's rare, just based on just how Sark runs his program. Every program is different. I've been around people say, hey, I don't care if you're a freshman. If you can play, you're going to play no matter what. So I think it just determines on the coach. I don't think it's a good or bad thing. It's just how you run your program. And I mean, some people use that to negative recruit Texas. That's fine. But are they winning at the same time, right? So you do what works best for you as the head coach. It's your program at the end of the day. And Sark is going to continue to do that.
Tennessee Longhorn, if you're playing a lot of freshmen, your program is in bad shape. You're in a rebuild. If you've built up a team over the last 5 years and you're having to rely on true freshmen, that's not a good sign. It's a good sign when true freshmen are redshirt. That's a real good sign of a program. Now, you've got your Jeremiah Smiths, but those are rare. Those are very rare. Those are once in 10 years type guys. Those are rare. But at the same time, you don't take off the sophomores and juniors that were also highly recruited, just like this last class, that have been through the system, that have earned playing time, that have earned the trust. Freshmen, that's something I think people don't understand, especially guys that try to be in the business that they're not really in the business. You have to earn the trust of the coaches and the players in that locker room. For a freshman to walk out on the field and play immediately, that trust has to be there. You know how important it is for Nick Brooks to bond with these other offensive linemen and Arch Manning? It's huge. It is absolutely enormous. So you don't want to play those freshmen. You want to play the guys that are older because they're more experienced. You know what happens with freshmen? They're 18 years old. I get asked this all the time. How does so-and-so get upset on Saturday? Well, there's 18, 19, 20 years old. Sometimes they wake up on a Saturday, they're not ready to fight. And that's why you see upsets week in and week out. It's just part of the game. And so you don't want to play a lot of freshmen, Tennessee Longhorn. You only want to play guys you have to play. If you got injuries, you got holes, you pray to God these freshmen are ready to come in and contribute. And that's why 3/4 of Sark's guys always enroll early. They get that head start in the spring. There's a reason for that. But if there are guys playing ahead of you, no. You're playing freshmen ahead of juniors and seniors that you've been working on and developing, that's a sign of a bad program, and that's why you're not seeing much of it at Texas.
I'm not all the way there. If you're talented, you can play. Like Ryan Wingo played last year.
He played. He didn't start.
Played. Right, he played.
Yeah, you're going to see guys play. I'm talking about starters. Did you see Nick Townsend in the fourth quarter get a target? That's a true freshman tight end. Got a target in the fourth quarter of the Texas-Kentucky game. You can play. Just don't go there and expect to don't go in there and expect to make a bunch of plays. Everybody sees Jeremiah Smith and they think, we'll just get another Jeremiah Smith. Here's the thing. There ain't another one. There's not.
Right.
There's not one anywhere.
And that somewhat makes it a one-off example, but I get
it really does.
And he kind of speaking how other recruits look at it. It's like, well, when you look at Texas, and okay, we can dive into the minutia of what the wins and losses look like, but over the last 3 years, they've been a winning program. So the recruits will probably look at it as like, that's what you have to do at a winning program. Like, we do mention the emotions that a lot of kids have with, this type of with this type of thing. They've been playing, they've been the star their whole life, and now they've got to come in and try something different, and that's not easy. But like, that happens everywhere. Like, if you're playing a ton of true freshmen, it's because you missed either in the portal or on other evals. And yeah, you get your opportunities, but what's going on around the rest of the program, especially at other spots. And then to kind of finish it up, Tennessee Longhorn, you had another good one. just on the O-line real fast. Did y'all think the O-line would be playing better based off the prospects the players are coming in out of high school? Not this year. And I've kind of taken that take and molded it as the year went on. But a lot of these guys, they are really good. I think, and of course you cycle through offensive linemen as a program. I think a lot of them are still a year away from playing their best football. That's why they're all really inconsistent. And I think that applies to literally everybody. Trevor Gooseby, Nick Brooks. If you wanted to see it with Stroh or Neto, you could kind of think, okay, maybe it's a year away. Cole Hudson, DJ Campbell, yeah, there's the seniors. They don't have that another year to be a year away. And they've been probably the better two guys on that offensive line. But like for when you're playing a lot of these guys who haven't seen game time, you hope that they develop quickly, but at the same time, like there still is development ahead of them. And I think they're a year away, considering they weren't highly rated, a lot of these guys coming out of high school. Where y'all stand on that?
I think it's tough because that's the hardest position to project. Like, it's grown men in the trenches. I wouldn't want, if you're special, Calvin Banks, of course you can play, right? But they didn't want to, but they had no choice but to play him. It worked out. I don't think you want to throw a freshman out there on the offensive line. It's kind of like you said about other positions. Are they ready to play at such a young age? And when you have multiple who haven't took many snaps, it's hard. I don't care what their rankings were. They haven't seen enough stunts, slants, whatever the defensive line's trying to do to them.
Preach
right?
this stuff, please, because
it's
you
hard.
got viewers that don't understand.
It's very hard to play early as a freshman on the line. You can mix them in, but I think we always talked about it. The last two teams that won national championships were veteran teams. You mixed it. They mixed in a couple
all
of
veteran teams that win
right?
the national championship.
Freshmen
don't win national championships.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You can mix them in if they're talented, but you
Can't
probably
name
want
one.
veterans out there. And so offensive line is especially hard. There's a lot going on. You got to simplify your playbook to make it work most of the time because they just don't get it. I don't care how much you talk to your blue in the face, trying to make them understand, it's hard. So,
hey, you know what else is a factor? NIL. These kids get a big check. They think they're ready to play college football as true freshmen when there are players in front of them that are better, more established, more productive, getting the same check. Maybe in some cases less than those freshmen got, but they weren't ready. Every player comes to Texas. Every freshman comes in expecting to play early. That's the competitiveness. You want a guy that's coming in to – you know who expected to play early? Lance Jackson. You know why? Because he can. Because he has that ability in a depth-filled room at edge. But he put in the work. He put in the time. He earned that right to get on the field. Freshmen aren't entitled to any playing time. They have to work. They have to beat out guys. And if you can't beat out the third-string guy in front of you, you think Sark's going to play you? No, sir. And that's why Texas has had the most success in the NFL draft the last 2 years and back-to-back college football playoff semifinals.
We'll end it there. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, come to Inside Texas, hit that first link in our description, sign up for just $1. Join the best Texas Longhorns community, get the best Texas Longhorns intel, and join in as we get ready for the Mississippi State game. So, Charlie, thank you so much. Go rest that voice. Justin, thank you. We'll see you next time on Recruiting Intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.